Shawna here. I just read your question, and I just wanted to give you a quick little some thoughts of things you can do for your rescue horse. So one of the things, you're absolutely right. At this point in time, he finds, I don't know if it's a he or she. She, I think it's a she. She finds humans to be aversive. So our presence is no good, and there's nothing we can do about it. We are an aversive. So the best thing that you could do, and I've worked with lots of ferals, lots of severely abused. I've worked with what we call naive horses that are, or naive animals that have come in, haven't been handled. I've worked with zebras. I worked with Somali wild asses. So I've worked with a lot of horses that are fearful people, or a lot of equids or animals. Anyway, so one of the first things you need to do before you try to do anything, put any agenda aside. The only thing you really want her to do is you're going to use the biggest reinforcer you have, and it's a negative reinforcement. It's our presence. So what I suggest you do is, if she won't take from your hand, well, in the very beginning, we're going to do counter conditioning. So I think the very first thing you should do with the counter conditioning is figure out where is the threshold where she's comfortable enough to eat out of her bowl where you can be near her. So maybe 30 feet away. I mean, it may be a long way away. It might not be close at all. But there's a certain point where she's going to feel not so threatened by you, and she can just eat normally. And so whether it's a bowl or a hay net or whatever it is, but if there's anything she likes, like any sort of pellets or hay pellets or whatever, and you may have said that in your thing as well, but if there's anything that she likes, I want you to offer that in, a big bucket near wherever that is. So if it's in a paddock, if it's wherever it is, put it and figure out where can you be where she can still eat normally and not get worried. There's going to be a certain point where she starts to go, I'm not quite so comfortable with you here. You don't want to get that close first. And what I would do is every time that you go there, I would offer food. Or if you can be there if there's a feeding time per se, I would go at those times and I'd sit. So feeding time and you are associated together. And so pretty soon what I'd start doing is, I've done it a couple ways. So sometimes I would get closer to the bowl or just bring the bowl closer, but sometimes they'll eat and they'll pull the bowl further and further away with their nose. So then what I've also done is tied like a little, baling twine around it. So it can only, and however many loops I need. So it can't go but so far. And then you can pull that a little bit closer. It's like on a fishing reel. So, but I would let it take all the time she needs. So you can pull it just a little bit closer and you can prevent it from being pulled away. And then eventually that's going to get closer and closer and closer and closer. I would sit on the ground when this is happening so it doesn't look like the human has any intentions at all. You want the human to just be as neutral and unassuming as possible, as unthreatening as possible. So human standing, I'm sure, is where things have happened. A lot of times, as long as you feel safe, and usually with these really fearful ones, they tend to just run away. But as long as you feel safe with her in there, I'd sit on the ground and I would just let her eat. And then eventually bring it closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer until she is readily, and I wouldn't move it closer until she's showing you she's very comfortable where it is. So if she kind of is ducking in and taking some, and then she finally stands there and eats, that doesn't make me feel like she's totally comfortable there. Until she comes up and goes, I'm eating here and there's no problem here. Then I might bring it like a foot closer, and then a foot closer, and then a foot closer. But it may take a while. And so pretty soon though, she's going to be comfortable. And then a lot of times what I do, I eventually bring it till it's a bowl sitting in my lap. And again, I just relax. I lean on stuff. I want it to look like I have no interest in them. And so I keep bringing it closer and closer and closer. And either when it gets right in front of me and they'll start taking it out of my hand, but there's times that I put it all the way into my lap, a big bowl, and just sat with it, and they pretty soon, and then I'm very, very still, and I just let them eat and eat and eat, and so they get used to that, where they're like, no problem, here I come, lady, I'm going to eat. And then I've gone so far, and some of these steps may go faster, and some may be slower, depending on how she responds. But so sometimes I've got it closer and closer, and then you can tell it's easy then to pick it up and offer it to them out of your hand. Sometimes they will just do that once they've gotten over being fearful of your presence. But sometimes you have to go a step further. So sometimes what I've done is I put like hay pellets or grain or whatever she finds the most. Equine senior tends to be quite quite valuable for a lot of horses. So that might be something you can put in there, because they've made it for horses who are losing their interest in food because they're getting older. So it's very palatable, and horses love it. So that might be something you sprinkle in there too to kind of up the value, since she doesn't like the apples and carrots and stuff. And then as you're going good, I would have my hand under the food, whatever it is. If it's hay pellets, if it's hay, if it's Equine Senior, and I would put my hand, as she's really comfortable just eating with you right next to her, or in with the food in your lap in a big bowl. Then pretty soon I put my hand in and under the grain. And pretty soon she's eating down to your hand. I'd keep my hand very, very still. My hand's doing nothing. It's just laying there. And they're eating down to your hand and eating around your hand, and they're getting used to it. And then I start rising it up and up and up until they are comfortable actually taking it from your hands. So that would be the very first steps I would work for. So now what you're doing, and that way, you're doing systematic desensitization and counter conditioning. Counter conditioning is the biggest part of it, because she has an aversive history with humans, which a lot of them do. So then the next thing I would do is, when she will eat from your hand, and she eats readily from your hand, she'll eat, I would then start to stand. And I would lean over and see if that helps her, but see if she doesn't just take from your hand. And I would reach it way out so she can be further away, because expect the criteria to slip. So I'd reach way out. As soon as she takes it, I would walk away a couple steps. And then she's going to kind of be like, okay. And then pretty soon she'll kind of creep up to you. I would offer it again, reaching way out, and then walk away a couple steps. And pretty soon what she's going to learn, that she, one, can control the human. She can make the human go away. So this is the part where it is negative reinforcement, because we're giving her positive reinforcement as best we can. We're giving her food, but we're aversive. So we're taking the aversive away. So when she takes the food, we're training her to take the food, the scary human takes a couple steps away. And then she can make her mind up, and pretty soon she'll be following you. And pretty soon she'll take a step and walk, and she'll just be right there with you. And you'll feel like you'll kind of know that she's with you. She's not with you like this anymore, but so just keep doing it till she's like, I'm just with you. I'm okay with this. And that she's eating, she'll walk with you. Then I move up the actions a little bit more walking, a little bit faster. Not too fast, but a little bit faster, until she is comfortable with you moving. She's sticking with you, staying with you, likes you, is, being much bolder. Then I would begin with the early stages of then starting to introduce the clicker. But only when she's bold and it's very clear she does not find the human aversive. If she still finds the human aversive, we're fighting an uphill battle, and we will continue to be aversive. And the people a lot of times will hold food out and then try to pet them, and that's the worst thing you could do. You need to let her really, until she is overthinking we're bad, then we don't want to do anything, because it will be continuing to add to reinforcing her thoughts, that humans are bad. So, and then we'll have some value, and then she's like, well, I like the humans and I want to be with the humans, and that will be a different story. And so that's where we'd start from there. So get to that part first, and then check back in, and we'll get you to the next place. And you can directly tag me or whatever you need to do to get my attention if you have more questions. So if you do, just tag me on probably Facebook or send me a message or whatever, and I'll be happy to help you directly, just to get my attention, because I am traveling. I'm in Norway right now, so I am traveling, and I missed some things. Anyway, so there you go. I hope that helps you out, and I'm really glad that she's with you, and that she's having a life with you, because you'll help her to get to the next place and learn that, she's a life that's going to be with humans. And I can't imagine being so fearful of something that's part of your everyday world. So this will be a way that helps her to grow and blossom in a lot of ways. So, okay, good luck. Keep me posted. Bye.